What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Reel Junkies. I'm your host, Farron, here again with my man Vito. And today we're coming at you with a review for a Darren Aronofsky movie, who, for those of you who don't know, very high quality director. And a movie that I'm not sure is getting a lot of buzz or attention right now. It seems like it's kind of being talked about very low key. And that is Caught Stealing, just released last week. Follows Austin Butler, who I must say I think carried this movie on his back pretty much throughout the majority of it.
Dog.
It follows his character, where essentially, if you've seen the trailer, you kind of know the trailer circulated around. I feel like his character is kind of down on his luck. And he comes home one day, finds one of his friends in front of his house. Friend says, "Hey, watch my cat for me. I'm going to, visit my dad in London." Little does he know that while his friend's visiting his dad in London, there's some mobsters looking for his friend, and he kind of gets tangled up in that whole situation. That's about as much as I can say without giving spoilers. And I do want to give a non-spoiler review for this, just because this film has been very low-key, and I do want to encourage as many people to go see this as possible, because I thoroughly enjoyed this. I had a great time with this. I'll start off with a few quick highlights, and then Vito, I'll let you go ahead and give a few of your rundowns or things that stuck out to you. One, the performances in this. Austin Butler was amazing. We've seen Austin Butler in almost like character type roles. Obviously, for those of you who've seen Dune, he was in that movie.
Okay, I got a question, because
Okay.
I'm going I'm writing down all my little spiel, and I see Dune, and I'm saying, who the fuck was he? The creepy nigga?
Yeah, he was. I don't
The
know
one,
why
the
the
one
main
that was
villain in Dune. Yes,
the
the
one
one
that was
that.
like he was fighting poison niggas.
Yeah, Fade,
Okay,
Fade Rotha.
yeah, something
I
like
think that
that.
was his name. Basically the Baron's like main son, the one that Paul Atreides fought at the end. And he also played Elvis Presley. I did not see Elvis, so I can't speak on his performance in that. But just he played. I totally forgot about this. He played he played one of the Charles Manson cult members in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I totally forgot about that.
I seen it as I was looking up his filmography.
Yeah, I
He
totally forgot that. I totally
he
forgot that was
also
him.
has something that it hasn't been a priority for us. I don't know if you remember it, but I want to see it, and I keep forgetting to look into it. Eddington, the one with Josh
Yeah.
Brolin and
hmm
Pedro Pascal. Apparently, he's in that as well.
Okay. Got you. So
He's been busy.
he's been very busy. Austin Butler's been very busy, and this is a role that is a little bit more mundane than probably some of the other ones we just
Yeah.
named. He's playing a dude that's working at a bar who is kind of just down on his luck at the moment. He had aspirations of playing professional baseball, but some incidents that happened when he were younger, kind of derailed that whole dream for him. So he's a guy who's kind of a little angry just with the state of his life, and just very discontent with how his life has played out. And that's kind of how you're introduced to the character. And then boom, fast forward into the plot of the story, where he runs into Matt Smith's character, who is tangled up with the mob, unbeknownst to Austin Butler's character. And then the story kind of plays out from there. But Austin plays a character by the name of Hank, and his performance is top tier in this. Zoe Kravitz's performance is really good in this. Regina King is one of the highlights of this movie to me. I thoroughly enjoyed her performance. Like, I think that the performances are one of the.
Regina King is just.
It's Regina King, man.
Like, you really can't.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, when you see her, top tier acting is going to be provided, and she does not disappoint in this.
I'm looking at her
whatsoever.
filmography though, and I know IMDb isn't always 100% accurate. It's always off a little bit. So it might be something missing here, something missing there. But it says she only has about 58 movies, TV shows, which, if you think about it, how long she's been in the game is not a lot. But that just shows that just shows like how great she is to only have under 60 film and TV appearances. And when people talk about you, you are like at the top of that. Like, motherfuckers like Regina King.
Yeah, absolutely. No, she's top tier and 100%. And so between that, I think this film kind of, like I said, directed by Darren Aronofsky, who's directed has a pretty interesting filmography as far as directing goes. He's directed Black Swan, He's done The Wrestler, which I love.
Mickey Rourke, right?
The I'm sorry.
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, Mickey Rourke. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, he did Requiem for a Dream as well. If I'm not tripping, yes, he
I
did do
think he
Requiem for a
did.
Dream. Yep. So pretty diverse filmography just in terms of style of films, but a lot of those movies I just named obviously follow a very dark, dramatic tone. This one kind of does that, but kind of tries to do it in like a Guy Ritchie kind of way, where like blends like
That's
some comedic
exactly what I would
elements.
call it.
So that it's like a dark comedy almost. One thing I do like about this movie is, aside from the performances also, is the different turns this story takes you through. I will say genuinely surprised me. There's only
Yeah.
one that I kinda telegraphed, and I didn't
Mm.
even really telegraph it until it was that scene. And I don't wanna say what it was, but there's a scene
Yeah, you're gonna
where
have to tell me because
a I'm not gonna say what it is. I'm gonna say it in a way that where someone who's seen the movie will know what I'm talking about. There's a character where you realize they aren't who they've been portraying themselves to be. And there's signs throughout the movie telegraphing that if you were paying
we'll talk
attention to it.
afterwards because I think I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about,
you
but
know what I'm talking about.
I was
It's a
on
pretty
it.
major
Like
reveal.
I was sitting there, I was like, no, that's not it. And then they said something. I'm like, oh fuck. And then it
Yeah,
exposed. I think we talking about the same thing.
we're talking about the same thing. Yeah, there's a character who isn't portrayed to be who they really are for most of the movie. And like I didn't realize, usually when you've seen as many movies as you and I have, certain spoilers or certain reveals you can kind of see coming before the film reveals them. This one I genuinely did not see it
No,
coming
yeah.
until that scene.
There
And I'm
were
like,
a
"Oh
lot of
shit."
there were a lot of twists in here where, like you say,
Yes.
I'm expecting something to happen, and a lot of times it just flips it. It'll do the complete opposite of what you're expecting to happen. Even when I'm like, okay, this is happening. They may go this way, but this is happening, and then they do something completely different. I'm like, okay, that's okay, yeah, I can fuck with it. That's an interesting turn.
Yeah, what were some of, like, your biggest highlights of this movie? Obviously, I mentioned the performances and things like that, but what were some of the things in this
Dude.
movie that stuck out
So
to you the most?
one as I'm looking at the IMDb film list, I was getting upset at first because Regina King is like very fucking low on there. But then I keep looking at it, and it seems like they have a lot of the younger actors build higher.
Yeah,
So Vincent D'Onofrio, he's at the bottom. Lee Shriver, he's at the bottom.
which is
Uh,
crazy.
Regina King's at the bottom. All three of these people have been in the game for
A
30
while.
years. And
Yeah.
Imma say my favorite part of the movie is Lee Shriver and Vincent D'Onofrio because Imma be honest with you, probably noticed Vincent D'Onofrio first, wasn't picking up Lee Shriver. I'm like, I feel like I know this motherfucker, but I
Yeah,
don't, but I've seen him in. And
yeah.
like it keeps going. I'm like, that's fucking I don't think I knew who it was. Like I was confident with myself until I looked at the credits at the end of the film. And
Mhm.
I was like, okay, that's Lee Shriver. I think I think the introduction of everyone in this film was done amazing. I think they did it. It was perfect, to be honest with you. The introduction of Zoe Kravitz's character, Yvonne, the introduction of Russ, the introduction to these two fucking crazy Russians, which that shit was hilarious in itself.
Hey, they were another that's the
Uh,
crazy part, like, you could literally say anyone was a highlight in this movie, and you'd be
yeah,
right.
fucking Bad Bunny's in here. He has a good introduction. Then you bring in the Hebrews, is what they call them this in the movie. They call them the Hebrews. They bring them in. And the first time you see them is not really anything because it's a lot going on. But when they're sitting down talking, you're like, oh, what the fuck, dude? It's wild. The introduction to the Regina King character. Um,
Mhm.
I don't think that one was really a highlight, but I think the scenes actually it was because she say some shit in there. I'm like, yo, what the fuck are we doing here?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's
There's
just
there's some
really,
lines she has where you're like, "Huh?"
it's a really like you said, it's a very it does have a very dark undertone to it, but they keep it's not light to where you like, oh yeah, this is my kid. I'll take my kid. You could go take a kid to see this, but it's not like childish. It's not kiddie. It's very, very dark thing. It does have dark undertones because, like you said, he had some dreams that he wanted to live out. And it's not like he's an outright fucking just drug addict, party animal, alcoholic,
Mhm.
but you see him battling these things. Um, and they showed they explain to you what happens, and I think that was probably the only thing in the movie that I felt like was predictable is when as soon as the flashback happened, I'm like, this is what's about to happen.
Yeah.
100%. And we already know I hate period pieces. I almost got up when I seen that shit said 19, what it say, 1982. It said
You was
1982 or 1978. I'm like, oh my fucking
uh
God. Then it jumped up
yeah,
to 1998.
90s.
I was like, all
Yeah.
right, man, it's a little better, but still. But
That 1990s is a period piece to you now? A movie that takes
nigga,
place in the
yes.
90s?
I was eight,
That's
nigga. You how old were you? In
in
98?
98?
Yeah.
Depends. Was it November yet? Because I might not have been born.
Exactly,
Was it?
nigga. So that's a period piece for sure. While we're on the subject of Lee Shriver, we talked about what did we do last week? We did heist. No, we didn't do heist.
We didn't.
I
Nobody
did
too.
nobody
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Highest and lows we did the week before,
Yep.
and dude, just the things in this movie, man. So Lee Schreiber is also in Ransom, which is the movie I said is a much better kidnapping ransom movie than fucking Heist to
Mm.
Lows
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
or
I need
Heist
to
to
check that
Lows.
out. Actually.
It has Gary Sinise, Mel Gibson, the racist ass Mel Gibson.
Racist ass Melly Gibson's.
Yeah, Mel Gibson. I can't remember his wife's name in that movie. But Lee Schreiber's in there. Gary Sinise plays a cop. Schreiber plays
Hmm.
a criminal. Whatever, blah blah. But we have two people in this movie that played Wilson Fisk.
We do have two people in this movie
I'm
that
looking.
play
I'm
Wilson
like, he
Fisk.
played Wilson.
I didn't even think about that.
And well, who does somebody else is in Zoe Kravitz plays Mary Jane in Into the Spider Verse. So Zoe Kravitz plays Mary
Mm.
Jane. Lee Schreiber plays Wilson Fisk, who's partnered with the live action Wilson Fisk.
Yep.
And the only person that I don't want to say Zoe knocked her performance out because I don't think she really had a she had a
Yeah.
large purpose, but her
Yeah.
role wasn't like really
Her
big.
screen time wasn't that much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm not a huge fan of hers, and I
Really, that's
really
a take.
I've just never like her stuff has been like to me it's just like all right, that's cool.
Hmm.
I haven't seen her do anything where I'm like, oh shit, yeah. Whoever fucking her agent is doing a fucking fantastic job.
She
So,
gets like some high
yeah,
quality roles pretty
same with
regularly. I'm not gonna
Austin
lie.
Butler. Yeah, I was talking to my sister before we started this, and we were talking
Hmm.
about Austin Butler. Like you said, he's been in some things. I've seen him in some things. I think the first thing that I've sat down to watch where he was a star in was Bike Riders. It has him,
Mm. Okay.
Venom. Who's Venom? Tom
Tom
Hardy,
Hardy.
a bunch of other people, another period piece. And it was an okay movie, but he just seems like in that movie he was kind of like very like kind of emo-ish, but not emo. It was weird. But
Got you.
the,
Okay.
the point I'm trying to make is everybody in this film played somebody that I'm gonna say I don't typically see them as. Maybe
Yeah.
Zoe Kravitz. I feel like that's a role. I feel like that role was made for her. Like I
Yeah. It
definitely feel
was.
like that. But
I definitely could see her like kind of drawing on some
yeah.
of the things she did with Catwoman and like some of her other roles. But I agree with you. Most everybody else and Regina King.
Well, this is the thing with
I have
Regina,
seen Regina King play a police officer before. Granted, it
but
was in
not
a
like
TV
that.
show and it was Watchmen. But it wasn't like this.
See,
It
and
wasn't
that's
like this.
crazy that's because she also played a cop in this show called oh my god, I used to love this show. Southland. It's about cops in LA. She plays a detective.
Okay.
So, but yes, I got that wrote I have that written down. Watchmen because fucking just amazing TV show.
Phenomenal.
I think I'm gonna do a rewatch, dog. Because
I might have to. I haven't watched that
we
show in a
might
while.
have to do that
Hey, stay tuned
because
because I'm down.
The
Stay
Watchmen
tuned.
was just amazing. But
Yeah, I think we definitely need to revisit that absolutely at
so
some
like
point.
we have seen her play a police officer. I don't think we've seen her play an officer like that. I think I mean even that introduction to it where she's talking to him in a house or
Hmm.
apartment or whatever and they're speaking. I'm like, yo, she's fucking she on some other shit. Like the
Yeah.
rest of them she plays when she's playing a cop, she's playing a really serious cop. Like she's not joking around with motherfuckers, you know.
Hmm.
She's playing real down to business type deal. But this one, like we said, and some dark undertones, but and that's the thing, like we said, it's a little like dark comedy. It's weird because it's not that dark and it's not that comedic. Like
I would
all
say,
these
yeah,
things are happening, but you like you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, man, that shit was dark. Oh yeah, that shit was hilarious. Like it,
yeah.
like things are happening, but you like, okay, yeah. Like
It does get dark at certain there are certain points where this movie does take some left
there
turns.
is that one scene, I'll say right after he
There's
met
a couple of scenes. There's a couple of
right after he
scenes.
met the Hebrews, I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
shit." And,
Yeah.
yo, Action Bronson, dog.
we gotta take a step back and give him some credit a little bit.
Listen, I'm an Action Bronson fan. I had started watching that, cooking show that he had with used to be on
Yeah.
Vice. I started listening to his music, and I'm like, he got some shit I fuck with. So, like, it's funny seeing him in, like and he's been in other things, and nothing he's never had any big roles, I don't think. But I think that he had the perfect amount of screen time.
Yes. It was just right in this.
It
It
was
was
the
just right
perfect
in this.
amount. Even the bar owner, Paul, and that's
Paul,
I,
yeah. Griffin Dune
yeah, Griffin
or
Dunn.
Griffin Dunn. I
And
might
he's
be
been it's done, I believe. But he's
yeah,
been in a
okay.
lot of other things that I've seen. And I realized like he's been in a lot of shit. It's just I think the first thing I seen him in, I want to say he was on This Is Us.
Okay, I haven't
Since the
seen
same
that
person.
show.
You ain't watched This Is Up? Come
Yeah, I
on,
know.
dog.
Y'all can kill me in the comments if you want. Go ahead.
Dog.
I'll
Dog.
accept it. I'll accept it. I'll accept it. I will gladly accept it. It's just one of them shows that, like, by the time everyone was telling me to watch it, we
Mhm.
were so deep. It was so deep into it. It's like the amount of catching up I have to do at this point. I'm straight. Certain shows I'll do that for. This is just wasn't one I'd prioritize at that moment. But I echo a lot of what you said. The ensemble in this movie was perfect. Like it felt like everyone was able to knock their particular roles out the park. And even whether their, role was significant, like Austin Butler, who's in basically every scene,
Yeah,
or,
almost every
you
scene.
know, yeah, or if it's
I
like,
want to say every scene actually.
literally every scene. I was
I think
noticing
so.
that as I was like piecing together my thoughts for the review, I was like, was there ever a scene that
I don't
Austin Butler wasn't in? Like
I
they
don't think
pretty much
they're
solely focused on
they
him.
may have been like a 5-second clip before he entered the scene, but I want to say every scene.
Every scene had him in it,
There was no
which was
there was no
crazy.
scene without him in it.
Yeah, it was a very and I'm like, usually, most movies will have scenes that don't include their
Yeah.
main character. I don't think there's
Somebody
a
having a
single
conversation
scene.
about them. So
Something. Something.
I will say this. And this is really the only point that I wanted to make sure I made when we talked
Mhm.
about this movie. So you started talking about twists and turns and stuff. I will say I usually get upset when we don't know like what's going on some of the time because why don't we know what the fuck is going on? But in this one, it makes so much sense that we don't know what's going on. Even when like I say, he's involved with mobsters. Austin Butler character Hank is not.
Yeah,
He
Hank
just
is
know
not a
he
criminal at all.
and he lives such a different lifestyle than Russ does. They're passing each other. They're passing each other.
Yeah. They're
So
literally just neighbors. Like that's it
so shit is happening, and you
at this
like,
point.
yo, what the fuck is it that he did? What is going on?
Yeah.
And the little trio, his door, Russ door, and was it Dwayne, the neighbor?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you talk about comedy, that shit is comedy. Like,
Dwayne was the comedic
fuck
relief in
you,
this movie for
Dwayne. Like
100%.
that shit is
Fuck off,
funny.
Dwayne.
Yeah. So I did want to say like the way that he told the story, I
Mhm.
liked it. I really enjoyed it. Like you said, he set it up to where, like you said, you don't see the twist coming because you don't know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it makes it perfect. It's sometimes it's not even like a twist, because like I said, you don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, yeah, this is my best friend. It's my best friend. It's my best friend. Oh, he pulls a gun out on me at the end of the movie. Yeah, I seen that coming because
Yeah.
who have they been talking to? This nigga don't talk to nobody. He don't have a cell phone. He use pay phones, his girl phone,
Mhm.
and the movie opens with a bang.
Yeah.
Um, with him right after he meets Russ, or
Mhm.
that next morning, it
Yep.
opens like, and I don't want to say it's fucking on 10 the whole time. I give it like as far as like things that's going on, I would say it was at like a strong 8 the entire movie. movie.
Yeah, the pacing does move very quickly through this. It's not really too many dull moments or
Hmm.
moments to like sit and collect yourself. Like once you get into the thick of the story of Hank has now learned his friend Russ is involved with the mob and they're looking for something, and Russ has gone off to London to go visit his pops. And now Hank is stuck here to explain to these mobsters where's this thing they're looking for, and he don't even really know what they're talking about. Like, but once the movie reaches that point, it's on constant go, and like I said, it may take a few minutes to like, die down and collect here and there, but for the most part, it's just constant. It's going pretty much the entire time.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, like I said initially, like whether people had large amounts of screen time or small, everyone really knocks their performances out the park. The one person I do wish we could have gotten more of in this movie, and I
Carol
understand why
Kane.
we did it. Actually, I was gonna say Matt Smith. Actually, I was gonna say I was gonna say Matt Smith because I just feel like I thought
Yeah.
the way he portrayed that character was so perfect. It
Yeah.
was so perfect, but narratively, I understand why his
Why he's
character
not?
isn't in there a lot because his character leaving town is what kicks the story off. So he needs to be gone. But when he comes back into the story, those scenes are pure gold. He
Yeah.
starts
No.
stealing these scenes after a while once he comes back into the film. I thought his performance was one where it left me wanting a lot more, but once again, I understood narratively why he wasn't in the movie as much. And that's why I don't even want to use it as a complaint or a
Yeah.
critique, but it was just something that I wanted more of because of how good and how high quality it was. I thought Matt Smith did a phenomenal job in this as well. I just wanted to give him a little bit more of his flowers. I don't think I mentioned him as much in my initial run of great
I
performances.
want to know when they filmed this because again, you got fucking Austin Butler, Zoe Kravitz, Matt Smith, Regina King, Lee Schreier, Vincent D'Onofrio, Bad Bunny. Yeah, he's not an actor, but
Hmm.
he's a very high in demand musician.
Yeah,
Um, you so you have all of these really booked and busy, high profile actor or talent, we'll say, because I wouldn't call Action Bronson a big talent. He has a following, but not like
yeah.
Bad Bunny.
Not on the caliber of
Uh,
some of the other people in this cast.
yeah, so like just to get all of them together, and like you said, to have this many people in the film, and it didn't feel like we said in Highest to Lows, we said, when you have Denzel Washington, you have Jeffrey Wright together, to me, it should feel like they battling, kind of like how Kanye and Jay-Z did on Watch the Throne. This is one where it wasn't needed. They didn't have to do that. You know, they went up, they were, going up against each other, but it felt like they were going up against themselves with each scene.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, what I'm saying.
It's really like an ensemble, like to kind of add on to your point. Like there isn't really like a two-headed monster in this, like there
Yeah.
was in Highest to Lowest. Like the entire cast, each piece of the cast in this
Yeah.
is equally as important, right? Like outside of you have all now, granted, you have Austin, you have Hank. Hank is the
He's the star.
character, like I said, like he's literally in
The
every scene,
story
and
is
that's
based
not
around him.
hyperbole. That's not hyperbole. He literally is in every scene. And then like everyone else, there isn't really like a 1B really. And even if there was one, you could say it was Russ, but Russ isn't in the movie enough for me to call him that. Right. Like everyone is kind of just at different, everyone is there to serve the story of Hank at different points in the
Hmm.
story. Whether it's Yvonne, whether it's Regina King's character, whether it's the mobsters,
All right, I need you to
you
stop
know,
1 second.
or whether it's Russ.
Now, I don't know if that's how you say it or if that's how it is. Is he Yvonne or Yvonne, or is that just how you say
Yvonne.
it?
What did I say? I said
You said
Yvonne.
Yvonne.
Yvonne. Is it Yvonne?
I thought it was, but maybe I'm wrong.
Zoe Kravitz.
No, no, no.
Because we don't have
I'm asking a serious question though. Like, is it Yvonne or
I'm pretty sure it's Yvonne. I'm like 79% sure it's
well,
Yvonne.
every Yvonne I've seen has been spelled like that as well.
Like that.
But Yvonne makes sense as well.
She is, yes, fine.
I don't know though. That's why I asked. Because
that's why I'm like,
to be honest with you,
because now you got me stuck. Because I was like,
I thought
damn,
it
it's
was
Yvonne.
Yvonne,
And then I'm like, well,
but then as
wait,
I'm
that's a
watching,
good
thinking
point.
about the movie, he don't say her name that many times.
It's very few
Because
that like he actually mentions her name. It's a couple. It's enough in there, but
I want to
like I
say
said,
like
she
maybe
doesn't have that much screen time.
maybe like 4 or
You know what I'm
5
saying?
times he says her name, but
Yeah.
then they mention her more than that. But then it's your girl, the
Yeah,
girl.
they say your girl.
They don't say her
necessarily
name.
call her by name. Yeah.
All right, I'm
No,
sorry
that's
about that. It just like,
that
hold
that was
on.
bugging you. You was like, hold on, wait a minute.
It was a little bit. My
I was
fault,
screaming. No, you good. I done lost my whole psych. Nah.
the ensemble and the Russians and the Jews, the
No,
Hebrews.
everyone's there, like I said, to really serve Hank's story at
Yeah.
different points. And one thing I did really like about Hank is he's actually a pretty complex character, really, throughout this movie. And Yvonne, however we're saying this young lady's name, I think she even calls it out, at a certain point in the movie, when they were
Right
having
away,
a
I
pretty,
think.
yeah, it was pretty early
That was
on when they
pretty
were
early
having
in
a
the movie.
conversation, and they're obviously they haven't put like an official title on their relationship, but the film establishes very early on that they're romantically involved,
They're
very early.
together.
Yeah, so but they just haven't put like anything official on it yet. And they're starting to have that conversation of what would it look like if we were to get serious. And she, in a not so subtle way, kind of talks about him and says, I want someone who is willing to face their fears and isn't running from something, as she knows he's doing because of his past and the incidents that caused him to not end up playing professional baseball, living in a constant state of fear. He's waking up in the middle of the night having nightmares. There's like several scenes in this movie of him waking up with nightmares. That's like a recurring thing from the start of this movie to the end. So that's like a thing that's set up with this character that follows him. And you see, well before any mobsters make it into this movie, Hank is a character that's fighting demons, and there's some internal battles that he's having, and his mind is not at peace. That's how we're introduced to this character. And through this journey of all the madness and just craziness that happens throughout the course of this movie, you start to see him start to develop a little bit more of a healthier mindset about his past and the mistakes he made, and kind of being able to come to terms with those a little bit more, and understanding that the mistakes you made are in the past, and in order for you to move forward, you have to forgive yourself. But part of the add-on to this, and I'm going to try to say this without spoiling it, is some of the mistakes that caused him to not end up playing professional baseball, I feel like get repeated throughout this movie.
100%. But
So
also,
it's not like he really learns from
I don't
them,
want to
but
say
he learns to cope with it.
I don't want to even say he developed these. He was forced. Like,
Yeah.
it's like back up against the wall. You
Yeah.
have no other option but to face your. So, like shit, she's like, I don't want nobody to just run from it. I want you to fight for it. I want you to deal with it. At this point, he has no choice but to deal with it, because, like you said, he keeps making these same mistakes, pushing him deeper and deeper into this world that his neighbor has him into. Now, the craziest part about this is he would have never been in this shit if he would have just minded his fucking business.
To an extent, yes.
When those Russians came to his door,
yeah,
looking for Russ, he should have just knocked on the door. Don't stop fucking around with the key. Knock on the door. Hey, bro, you in there?
There.
You want to
turn
home? You see these? Listen. I feel like I can handle myself in a little tiff.
Yeah.
Two big bald white motherfuckers come at me wearing leather jackets. I'm not about to pick a fight with them, bro.
Yeah.
I ain't no bitch, but I ain't about to be like,
I ain't about to antagonize them the way
I'm not gonna antagonize the niggas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it cool. I'm playing cool. But he like, man, fuck you.
Like Hank, he tried to pop off and was like, don't know if they were the ones to do that with.
That little one
crash out, a purebred crash out. Even the other mobsters be like, "Hey, yo, bro, chill."
So I don't.
Hey, bro, relax.
I'm gonna spoil this part, bro. At one
this
point
part
in the
we
movie,
can spoil. I'm cool with
this nigga gets down on all fours, like he's not on his knees. He's on his hands and his feet, backs up against the wall, and runs at Buddy like a pit bull, and it rams his head into his body, bro. And it's so funny because
this part's kind of in the trailers. Was not that much of a spoiler.
So it's
that
funny.
Specific part isn't, but the part where they're jumping him, that's in the trailer.
It's funny because they don't, like I said, I don't feel like it's not that funny and it's not that dark, but it is funny and it's dark. And me and the white man next to me, bro, like, and he had a seat between us. Don't get it twisted, niggas
had to let that be known.
Niggas be trying to be funny. You sit next to some random white man. What you doing with this white man? Anyway,
what you doing with him? Huh?
Right? What you got going on, gang? But no, we both just over there fucking chuckling, because what the
Oh, now
fuck
y'all was
was
kiki. It's
that?
like, no, I'm bad dog too. My bad.
Y'all niggas laughing together. Y'all on a little date
Yeah,
or some shit.
yeah, y'all niggas getting real comfortable in there, huh? Over there, kiki and this shit,
Y'all
huh?
both of us laid back on the seats, huh?
Yeah, y'all had the recliner back, huh? Y'all just sitting there, just grab ass laughing, huh? All right, I'm gonna chill. I ain't gonna file on no more. Go ahead, get your foot across,
But
gang. My
no, yeah,
fault.
we
My fault.
chuckling because what the fuck was that? And I feel like that's also a common theme in a movie. It wasn't a lot, but it was a few times where I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes, that was those words. I said those words at least 4 times from the start of this movie to
Had
the
to.
end for sure.
Like I said, like I'm gonna say that one, Rut, just initially Russ and them talking to fucking Dwayne.
Yeah,
It's like what the fuck?
yeah.
Like Dwayne just trying to sleep, dog. Y'all niggas
Bro,
up
Dwayne
making
couldn't get
racket,
no peace in this movie, and I felt so bad for him. I'm like, yo, Dwayne
dog.
just trying to go to work in the morning, bro. He just trying to sleep, chill, go to work, come
Build
home, and
websites.
relax. And y'all motherfuckers is out here jumping people, like torturing niggas. Like y'all can't let Dwayne just have a moment of peace. This man gotta open his door, shout, knock on your door, just tell y'all to
Dog.
quiet down, bro. Let my man Dwayne be. And then y'all don't even have the courtesy to be like, you know what, bro, my fault. Y'all just start cursing him out when he just asks y'all to
No,
be
no, no,
quiet.
not y'all. Russ.
Russ. But it was more than just Russ, but
Well,
Russ.
yeah. I'll say what I'll say. Out of his neighbors, it was only Russ.
Yeah, out of his neighbors, it was only Russ. You're right. You're right. Fair enough. Fair
And
enough.
let's talk about. Okay, I gotta give one more spoiler. When
Okay.
this nigga was talking to the police, he was
When
talking
Hank
to
was talking to the police?
Regina King,
Yeah.
and the fucking officer was like, "I gotta use the bathroom."
Can I use the bathroom? Yeah, you gotta hold it down or
I
it's
gotta
gonna
use. I'm
clog.
not
I know
supposed
how
to
to use a
go.
fucking bathroom.
Bro, I'm
Hey, bro,
like,
it's
oh
clogged.
fuck no, bro. This nigga would have got his ass beat, bro. Get the fuck out of here, dog.
Like, come on, bro.
Then
Oh
he
yeah.
say, "Oh, we done it." Nigga, you could have used that bathroom,
Like, come on, gang. Like,
or
what are
you
you
could have just
doing?
left.
Like, nah, I'm with you there. That would have had me hot. Like, I just told you, hey, hold it down, or it's gonna clog. I know how to use a fucking bathroom, bro. All right, you got
No,
it.
no, it wasn't
Walks
that.
out.
It wasn't that nigga was stuffing that toilet, bro. When you
Hey,
seen
dog.
that toilet, that nigga stuffed that toilet full of toilet paper, bro.
He said he was in there getting a little too generous with it.
Yeah, that was one of those flush as you go type shits that he was taking in that man's
Hey,
bathroom.
bro.
Like, bro,
Hey,
you got
bro.
to get the fuck on.
No, that was fair spoiler to say because that one was one of them. I was like, oh, so this is what the police in this movie about to be on. Okay,
that was one of my what the fuck.
that was one. That movie set the tone for me. I was like, all right, so this is A, the type of movie I'm in for, and B, this is what the police are about to be like in this movie. Because
Yeah.
I feel like generally most, especially in movies like this, the police officers are all kind of like carbon copies of each other in terms of personality. Like Highest to Lowest is another example of that. How they were kind of like
dicks, just
just
because.
yeah, just all kind of caricatures of each other, like just all just assholes.
Like you would
But
think if you have evidence, you're gonna follow whatever evidence it is. You're not just gonna be
you
like,
would think.
ah.
Yeah, like so this movie, once I saw that, I was like, all right, this kind of giving me a baseline of what to expect here with this. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I even like halfway through watching this, I was like, this shit is really good.
It's
I was not
this.
expecting to like it as much as I did, honestly.
I can't remember when I brought this up. I don't know if you brought this up or I brought it up, but the point is, I didn't notice it till maybe 3 or 4 movies ago, and
Hmm.
just watching trailers and I was actually paying like usually I'm on the phone doing shit before the movie start. I'm actually paying attention to the trailer. I'm like, oh, okay, this look kind of good.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna say this was a sleeper for the year, man. Because like you
yeah.
said, this was such a we both had movies that we were excited for this year. I feel like this could have been a summer movie.
It could have been. It caught summer like right on the tail
Yeah.
end. Like technically,
This
it came out like September. I think like the right beginning of September, or
No,
like
end of July.
back into August. What are you
Yeah, I'm
talking about?
sorry. Yeah, end of August.
Yeah,
I'm
back
sorry.
into
Yeah,
August. Yeah. Like back into August. So like
yeah,
it kind of caught like the end of that summer season, but summer movie seasons died down
yeah.
by that point.
This
You know what
definitely
I'm
was a
saying?
movie
So
that could have been out before then. And man, listen, I was not. I was expecting it to be. I was expecting this movie to be like a 7, maybe 7.5, 6, 7. You don't know what that is? See, I'm chronically online. Anyway, I was expecting this to be a 6, 7. I didn't
Mhm.
know that Regina King was in this movie, and I'm sorry,
No, you had it right.
Regina King was in this movie till,
Very different actress.
man, um,
Tonally very different.
I didn't realize she was in this movie until I want to say maybe 2 days ago, and I seen a poster for
Yeah,
the movie, and I'm like, Virginia, she's in this shit.
yeah.
All right. So like I said, I was expecting this to be a 6 or 7. Or I'm giving this. I really want to say a 9. I really want to say a 9 because, like I
That's
said,
high.
I enjoyed the whole movie. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
I really don't have a whole lot of
negatives,
critiques. Yeah, that's
and
all I was literally about to say. I
I
don't have a whole lot of critiques of
if
this.
I
For
do
what this
have
movie is,
critiques,
it kinda knocks everything out the park
if
for
I
what
do
for
have
what this movie
critiques,
needs
they're
to be.
very small, and I feel like
Yeah,
it's unimportant for me to say, or I just can't think about it right now. And if I can't think about this critique at all,
that's a good sign.
I just don't feel like it was a team. And like even
Yeah,
saying a 9 feels very high, but I'm
yeah.
good with it being a 9. I'm gonna keep my 9.
Okay, that's I'm gonna go a little lower just because I'm a little harsher with my ratings once you get into the 9 and 10 category. No knock against this movie. I preserve nines and tens for like I just try to preserve those ratings. So I'm gonna give this a 8. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Definitely a sleeper, like you said, for the year. A movie that is just very, very high quality that kind of came out of nowhere, and not a lot of people are really talking about it. Not enough people are talking about it. I can say that. I'm very curious to see the box office numbers on this. I know because of the holiday weekend, the box office numbers they came out a little bit later, and I haven't had a chance to look at them yet. I'm very curious to see what the box office numbers on this are, and if they're not high, I could definitely see this being a movie that develops an audience on
Yeah.
streaming, and at more and more streaming audiences will kind of discover this. Like, this feels like that movie that like you would just like randomly rent at Blockbuster, and then you see it and you got to tell all your friends about it back when Blockbuster was a thing. I know I just aged myself by saying that. But like, this just feels like one of those movies that just kind of just snuck under the radar and then just is going to develop a cult following after the fact, because this was very, very high quality. Shout out to Darren Aronofsky for real. He knocked it out the park with this one, and
Yeah.
the entire cast as well. They
100%.
did their thing on this.
And I think that may have been a reason that it didn't get because I only knew Austin Butler and Zoe Kravitz was in this movie. I think
Mhm.
they mentioned Matt Smith, but I
Yeah, Matt
don't.
Smith was in the trailer, so
Okay, I don't.
yeah.
I really just
And
don't.
Regina King was in the trailer briefly.
Was she? Okay, I don't
She was in
remember
like a
her.
couple of scenes in the trailer.
I just don't remember. Maybe I don't remember the trailer. I don't think I seen those trailers then. I think I seen
Yeah,
one initial trailer and I was like, yo, this shit look kind of good.
yeah. Don't, because the
And
trailer low key gives away too much.
everything after that, so I didn't know these people was in here. I didn't know Lee Schreiber was in here. I didn't know Vincent D'Onofrio was
Yeah,
in here.
now those
I
surprised
didn't
me.
I didn't know Regina King was in this shit.
Yeah,
Matt Smith, from not Game of Thrones, House of Dragon. I know who he is because of Doctor Who. I didn't even watch those seasons of Doctor Who, and he's the Doctor. But apparently, he did a fucking amazing job. I don't think, like I said, I feel like Vincent D'Onofrio, Lee Schreiber, Regina King. I feel like though they are bigger actors. Maybe that's just me when I'm older, and maybe they're pushing this towards that younger generation. So Zoe Kravitz and Austin Butler, Matt Smith type deal.
mhm,
But mm, I feel like if more motherfuckers knew Regina King was in here, they would have went to go see it. Or
yeah.
when I say this time I say niggas, I mean niggas.
This time.
Because niggas love Regina King. I mean,
Absolutely. No, she can
Huey,
do no
Riley.
wrong. She could do no wrong. I like I said, I definitely need to see what the box office numbers were on this because I'm curious to see how it performed. But I want to say, for those of you who haven't seen Caught Stealing yet, if you have a chance to still check it out, I would highly, highly recommend. This movie is a great time. It's gonna give you a lot of unexpected twists and turns. The story's gonna do a lot of things you don't expect it to do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's definitely going to keep you on your toes. And for people like us who just consume a lot of movies and we can telegraph a lot of things, it's very refreshing to get a movie where that isn't the case, and you can just kind of sit back and be surprised,
100%.
and be able to get kind of caught off guard on certain scenes, because that this movie actually caught me off guard on certain
Bro.
scenes, which is rare.
So
So I gotta give it to him on this one, man. I was thoroughly
I
impressed.
told you when I went to go see Nobody 2, I decided I was gonna start taking notes on my phone. Well, I throw my jacket over my phone, type my
Yeah,
notes in real quick. Bro, I wrote caught stealing in the notes, and then that was it. That
Because you
was
were
it.
locked.
And I
Because
was
you was
locked
locked.
in. And like you said,
Yeah,
it's really great to be able to sit down and be like, yo, all right, I'm enjoying this. Like I
yeah.
am enjoying myself. I am entertained. I don't even want to take notes. I'm gonna have to just think about this shit after the fact.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, 100%. So yeah, that pretty high ratings on our ends. You got a 9, you got a 8. I mean, you have both glowing reviews with no negatives. I don't really know what else you need to go out and check this one out. If you all have seen Caught Stealing, go ahead in the comments and let us know what you thought. Are you like us? Was this a sleeper of the year, a movie that just needs to get more attention, or did you think it was mid? I haven't seen anyone with that opinion yet, but all feels subjective, and we love all the discourse that comes along with it. Always continue to like, comment, subscribe. We do appreciate all the support. And until next time, this is the Real Junkies. Peace.